Connor Jesus back. What? They'll be here. 2 more minutes here. You can't go early. You'll get in trouble.
I got a good one cooking.
What?
I got a good one cooking.
Oh boy. What are you cooking?
Oh, we're back. Can't tell you. Run cats that are around.
Yeah.
April will get it 5 days later.
Yeah, April. Josh is in a hurry. Oh, as slow as you possibly. Do you have any questions for him? If you want to question anything on the agenda, just let me know. Because Josh was in a hurry.
I realize I do the pledge more than like an 8-year-old anymore.
What?
I'm doing the pledge like one, 2 times. I never remember it now. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna call the meeting to order. It's gonna be done a little differently today. Russ, do you want to introduce Mr. Colin Adams, Eagle Scout? And Colin's gonna lead us in the pledge and then read his essay.
Before we go into I don't have to be here.
Yeah, if you want to.
Okay, before we get into the pledge, and I want to introduce this young man, it's Colin Adams. He took it upon himself to pursue an essay contest through the American Legion. And what happened during that time, during his presentation, as I was telling Mr. Hess, he had to write an essay, and he'll explain it as it goes on here. But a lot of people refer to the American Legion as a place to go for cheap beer. But it's good, and it's good. So anyhow, one of the things we do is children and youth programs. And he happened to win an essay contest, and he took first place at the Pine Grove Post, which gave him $500 towards a scholarship. He then went on to district and took first place there with district, won an additional $300. He then went to the southeast section, and he took first place there, won another additional $300, right? Okay. Then he went to state, and everybody, when you hear his essay, he got cheated. He took third place in the state, which garnered him $2,500. If he would have taken first place, it would have been $10,000. And this guy's pursuing a career that I won't ever understand, and I want him to explain what his career is going to be. He's trying to raise money. And I want to thank the commissioners, and Mr. Hess too, for allowing us to do this. And at this time, I'll introduce Colin, who just became an Eagle Scout as well, to lead the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, it's all yours.
Oh, I wanted to ask you guys to stand up. All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
On one note, I was explaining to Mr. Hess, we always hear about the student who robbed Turkey Hill, and I'm at fault for that as well. And I was telling Mr. Hess, we have more good children, young adults in this county than you could ever imagine. I can tell you the name of that child, juvenile, who took a candy bar or took the cash register drawer. I will remember his name. But in the same newspaper, there's going to be over 100 kids who are on the honor roll ask me to name one. That's our fault. That's our fault. Okay, Colin, all yours. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
I'd like to start by thanking you guys too. I appreciate the platform I've been given here. and I was asked to read the essay, but before I start, I wanted to give a little bit of insight on what this essay is. The American Legion Essay Contest every year focuses on some aspect of what it means to be an American, what America's all about at its core. And this year, I had the privilege of writing about the prompt, why is the First Amendment important in America? Which I think is a very important subject, and I also think it's I should speak up, I'll do that. I also think it's a very important thing, not just for our community, but for everyone to remember. It's a thing we all take for granted, which I will now talk about at length in essay format. You're really going to regret letting me do this. All right, let's get started. The political turmoil of the early United States was almost unrivaled in intensity and passion. From the moment the Constitution was presented to the public, there were severe and dramatic disagreements over the path forward for the fledgling nation. This opposition was not unfounded, as the weary and untrusting American public did not have much faith in the unproven promises of the Constitution's framers. Following James Madison's proposal, 10 amendments to the Constitution would be ratified and adopted in December 1791. The first among these amendments would prove to be one of the most important elements of the founding of these United States. The First Amendment to the United States Constitution contained a variety of focuses that all centered around the concept of personal thought and expression being free from government interference. Religion and religious expression come first in the items that shall not become the legislature's domain. On the grounds of religious freedom, the United States finds one of its most important traditions. America is not a place of a singular character. It contains multitudes. By prohibiting the founding of a national religion, the Founding Fathers ensured that the young nation would grow and expand, and it would include cultures and people that were not identical to those already within the country. The freedom to have a minority faith was not common in the world at that time, and it opened America up to many unique groups who could find a home in her lands. This distinction allowed America to receive people who could not live elsewhere in the world. And those people increased the diversity of American philosophy. The First Amendment ensured that many worldviews would be found within this nation's boundaries, and these worldviews enabled distinct and diverse approaches to issues that had previously only seen singular solutions. In this way, the First Amendment was and continues to be integral to the ongoing improvement of American lives. Thought and expression were central to the First Amendment, and the freedom to exercise those ideals is incredibly influential to the lives of Americans. Some of the most fundamental methods of expression are the most remembered and explicitly listed facets of the amendment, being the freedom of speech and of the press. By explicitly permitting the expression of any individual's views, the Founding Fathers made it possible to have free and open disagreements in a way that had not been entirely possible for much of history. This right, the right to have a serious and outspoken perspective for all Americans, became the defining difference between the United States and other nations. For all the genuine criticisms that can be levied against America, it cannot be said that this nation does not hold the ideal of free speech very highly in its culture. This advocacy allows for diverse and highly unusual perspectives to be shared and understood. And as a consequence, it expands the boundaries of thought and belief within the nation. While this has some downsides in the ability for mistruth or harmful thoughts to spread, the benefits make even the most aggressive critique pale in comparison. America has produced some of the most unique and unusual thinkers of modern history, the people who defined the philosophy of their industry for generations to come. These revolutionary ideas are a product of the discussions and conversations made possible by the First Amendment. There's a final kind of free thought and expression enshrined in the First Amendment that simply must be discussed. The First Amendment guarantees the American public the right to peaceably assemble and to make public complaints against the government. This right, taken for granted by Americans and many other citizens across the world. It was revolutionary for its time. Unlike the monarchical and feudal systems that plagued the people of the ancient world at the founding of this nation, the United States was principally supposed to represent the interests and beliefs of the American people. This philosophy, which promised, through the First Amendment, the right, is perhaps the most important part of American society and one of the greatest contributions America has made to global politics. The American people were, and in many ways continue, to be uniquely positioned to show opposition to unjust decisions from their government in a way that other nations and their citizens do not. All of the previous freedoms on this list would be meaningless if they could simply be trampled and have all dissent silenced. This importance also highlights why the First Amendment is positioned as it is. The ability to fight and campaign for your rights allows the rest of the Bill of Rights, all that follows, the entirety of the constitutional government, to become valid, and it became acceptable to the American people. In this way, the First Amendment is uniquely important in the body of legislation in the United States. The U.S. Constitution was designed as a living document, meant to be amended and altered to suit the changes in the world. It is no mistake that the first alteration to the Constitution was one that enabled the people it claimed to represent to showcase their thoughts and express their ideas in a way that would be meaningful and legally permissible. The First Amendment to the United States Constitution was a defining piece of legislation that helped to secure the validity of the young nation. America could never have grown and improved in the ways that it has if the freedom of its citizens was forever disputed. The First Amendment is one of the most important products in the founding of the United States. Thank you.
Thank you.
I should ask if there are any questions on this.
So, thank you, we appreciate it, it was an excellent essay.
Thank you so much.
What do you plan to do with your career?
I plan to go into orthotics and prosthetics.
Sorry?
Orthotics and prosthetics.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Don't go losing any limbs just yet.
I have a lot of trouble falling out, but in a couple years, I will be seeing it. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys so much.
Board of any executive sessions held?
As per section 8A4 of the Sunshine Act, an executive session was held on June 7, 2024 at 11 a.m. for the purpose of consulting with county attorneys regarding the matter of Jane Doe, 8 al. versus Schuylkill County, 8 al. United States District Court for the Middle District of Pennsylvania, case number 321-CV-477-MCC.
Any public comment? No. Okay. All right. Whichever one he's gonna go first.
George can show them what to do.
My name is George Stankovich from Palo Alto, and I want to thank that young man. That's a new generation person that you can count on. I heard what he said. I hope everybody in this building heard what he said, because the Bill of Rights means a lot. Every person in the United States, every man is created equal, and woman. And what happens when our politicians do not follow suit? This is what's happening with our government today. There are a lot of good things happening, but there's a lot of things that aren't so good. Our young people are hurting. Our older people are really hurting, and our veterans. I've seen it happening. I hear what the Bill of Rights is all about. I know everything about that. I hope every young person that goes to school today learns the Bill of Rights. And what rights you have, freedom of speech, freedom of religion. Our Lord was on this earth. He took care of the poor and the sick first. He didn't worry about the rich. He worried about the poor and the sick. And that's what our politicians have to step up to the plate and start doing. They are not doing that job. And what's hurting the United States as a nation is because these politicians just want to argue who's right and who's wrong. They are just worried about their parties and not the people. I'm sick of it. I hope it doesn't change, and I hope young people like that come up in our nation and find out what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Freedom of rights and freedom to know every United States citizen deserves an equal right and a good home. If they pay their bills, they pay everything, their taxes. I think that every human being living in the United States should be taken care of. No questions asked, especially veterans who gave up their lives or limbs to save our country and freedom in our country. And any person that worked their whole lives should have the right to live in their homes and not be chased out because of taxes. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening.
My name is Kevin Swanenberg. I'm from St. Clair. I just want to bring to your attention, my house went up for upset sale back in 2022. There was testimony by a tax claim officer who is no longer with the Tax Claim Bureau that basically perjured himself under law because he testified in some cases that he knew what personal service was, and in other cases he didn't, and I have the cases compared to each other. I want to bring this to your attention because my home was lost because of basically perjury on the stand. And the reason I know this is because we just had a couple of ladies come back to the Tax Claim Bureau that had been gone for 2.5 years. Okay, so I called down there and I said, hey, can someone tell me what's going on here? Can you explain this to me and whatnot? And they sat down, they reviewed my file, and they said, could you come in for a meeting? I went in for a meeting, and they sat there and they said, you should have been personally served. Your house should have never went up for upset sale. I said, and they said, Russ should have known this. So I just want to bring it to your attention. I mean, it's been gone, it went through the courts, and the courts could say whatever, but it was perjury, and I lost my house over it, and I just want to let you know that that's going on down there, and maybe you should look into it and have something done about it. Okay? Thank you very much.
And just to be clear,
Russ was the gentleman who testified in my hearing, and then I went down to talk to the ladies. I guess they just came back a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that. What was that? Thursday of the week that they came back, I went down because they called me in to have a discussion with me about my property, and they said I should have been personally served, and I wasn't on the commissioner's vacate list, you know, to vacate the personal service either. So, you know, any help with that would be greatly appreciated, and look into this matter.
Are you guys taking the end of the meeting?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Do you have any information that you can give to our attorney?
I spoke to him already. It
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
good. Thank you.
You spoke to the gentleman already?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
He said it's been adjudicated, so you don't have to worry about it, so you can break the law, and that's all right.
This matter is adjudicated by Judge Goodman. An appeal was filed by him. He didn't follow up with the appeal to Commonwealth Court, and they quashed the appeal. So legally, there's nothing, I cannot do anything as a member of the solicitor's office to circumvent a decision of one of our common pleas judges.
Okay.
And I told them that.
Okay. Any other public comment?
My name is Jody Forney, and just to kind of go off of what Kevin was saying, I just wanted to know why the Tax Claim Bureau, after every upset sale, is required to petition the court for distribution of funds before any of the money that's made off the sale can be like appropriated to the taxing entities, anybody with a lien, and then to the homeowner, any funds that were in excess of what the upset price was. Schuylkill County's Tax Claim Bureau has not petitioned the court for distribution since 2019. So they're selling properties for delinquent taxes, yet those taxes have still yet to been paid because it's sitting in a pending stage within the Bureau. So it can't actually be allocated to the taxing entities. So people are being displaced from their homes, and then they're not being given the money from the sale that they're owed so that they have the means to find somewhere else to live. Since 2019, it's now 2024. So I'm not sure if you were aware. And on top of that, you only have, the homeowner has 3 years to put a claim in with the Bureau to receive the excess funds. And if after 3 years they don't collect that money, it gets forfeited back to the Tax Claim Bureau, and then I believe it gets like separated by percentages. I'm not exactly sure on that, but regardless, after 3 years, the property owner was no longer entitled to those funds. But if they don't file the distribution list, they can't get the funds. And they're more than 3 years out, and they're the only county in Pennsylvania that is more than like 2 years from date of sale with filing that distribution. So petition for distribution. So I wasn't sure if you were aware of it, and just thought I'd bring it to your attention.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comment? Nope. And none, then let's move on to the Women Who Care Scholarship, and we have Marie, Gigi, Janice, and Sheila here, and they are here to present with Michael Spots and representing Faith Toothaker. So if you want to come up here on this side, or
Let's get him on. Let's get him on. Where's his mom? The mom? No? Okay.
So, since you are here from the Women Who Care Scholarship, do you just want to say something on behalf of what you are and what you stand?
Well, Women Who Care is a nonprofit organization that strives to meet the charitable needs of others, and one of our major programs is that each year we present 2 $1,000 scholarships to a graduating senior who maintains B average and who can demonstrate community service. And we had 31 applications, and I'm pleased to say that we had a very difficult time because there was a lot of good young people in the community that are doing community service, which had fallen off in the prior year. And our recipient this year is Michael Spots from North Schuylkill, and we had Faith Toothaker from Pottsville High School, who couldn't be with us this evening. But they're 2 very good choices, and we're happy to present them to you for your proclamation.
And the Board of Schuylkill County Commissioners does hereby recognize Michael Spots from North Schuylkill High School on receiving the Women Who Care Scholarship based on strong commitment and involvement in the community service. So, thank you, Mr. Spots.
Thank you.
And,
Yeah, Mike, you're the last of a whole herd of kids from the Spots family, right? How many?
6 of us.
Yeah, and I know his parents from North Schuylkill through the band parents. Michael was also recently one of the key players in the music band production in North Schuylkill, and very talented young man. His father is part of the alumni band in our school, and great family. Mom runs a sewing shop. My wife had a plastic zipper on a coat, and Mrs. Spots took care. So great people, great servants, and great musicians, and oh, there you are, hi. Very, like the gentleman said from Pine Grove, these are the kind of kids we want to have on the front page, not the ones that steal from the turkey ale or make bad decisions. He's an example of what good people we have in the county. So congratulations, Michael.
Naturally, I'd like to say a few words, especially after these past 12 years with the Youth Summit. I get the opportunity to work with a lot of youth and so forth, and young leaders of going in. And again, Mr. Spots there definitely shows those traits, and also Colin the same way. We have attended many Eagle Scout gatherings and shown a lot of leadership. I want to tell you the future looks very good with working over the last 12 years with the Youth Summit to get them involved in community service, and always to learn that you need to give back what you take out of the community. And this is right here the pure example of our future leadership. And I know Mr. Stump said a thing, sometimes you look at the bad and you fail to look at the good. And there is a lot of good that lies here in Schuylkill County. And appreciate the ladies here recognizing that, and other groups to recognize our stronghold of our future leaders of our county. So again, thank you.
And we thank you for this.
We also have, the Board of Schuylkill County Commissioners is hereby recognized Faith Toothaker, Pottsville Area High School, on receiving the Women Who Care scholarships based on strong commitment and involvement in the community services. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here because her family's on vacation, so Gigi is going to accept it on her behalf.
Thank you very much.
So, and, just pass on to her that.
Absolutely.
That the same applies, that, there are leaders and these are good things that they do. We appreciate you recognizing these children. So, thank you.
Thank you for this opportunity.
You want to do a group work?
Can you preview get behind them?
Sure.
No, the bums.
Up there or there, Josh? Which way do you want
You
to?
three get behind them, in your seats.
In our seats, okay.
You'll know where it is.
He's directing us, Josh. You're taking a lot of liberties today at this meeting.
It's America, just like you heard.
Keep directing on us. Come on over here.
Great, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you again, yeah?
Okay, so let's move on to the bridge meeting. I have a motion to approve the minutes from the commission meeting on May 22nd, 2024.
Second.
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from the commissioner's work session of June 5th?
Second.
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Can I have a motion to approve what was presented by the grant writers at our work session?
Second.
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Can I have a motion to approve what was presented for mental health and medical services?
Second.
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Can I have a motion to approve what was presented on behalf of drug and alcohol at our work session?
Motion to approve all three drug and alcohol requests.
Second.
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington? Commissioner Hess?
Can I have a motion to approve what was presented by domestic relations at our work session?
I'll make a motion to approve the next relations request.
Second.
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Can I have a motion to approve what was presented for the prison?
Motion to approve the two prison requests.
Second.
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Can I have approval for liquid fuels, approval of an agreement with Lawrence Design?
So moved.
Second.
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Can I have human services?
Motion to approve the four requests.
Second.
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes. Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Well, can I have a motion to approve what was presented by children and youth at our work session, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9.
Motion to approve the 9 requests of children and youth.
Second?
Any question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Got a motion to approve, for the tax claim bureau, the approval of the 5 listed depository sales.
So moved.
Second?
Any question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Got a motion to approve the 2 things that were presented at the work session for risk management.
So moved.
Second?
Any question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Can I have a motion to approve, for the Schuylkill County Transportation Authority, SDS, that was presented at our work session, 1, 2, 3.
So moved.
Second?
Any question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Can a county administrator, approve what was presented to the county administrator for a vehicle maintenance contract, for MIS, then, the appointment, the approval of the 4 representatives for the northeastern and planning organization.
So moved. Second?
Any other question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Human resources. It's somebody else's here.
Yes, Commissioner, we have the following personnel actions in children and youth. There are 3. The appointment of Bailey Soul as a county social service aide 2, the rate is 16.1825. That is effective 7/1/24 as per the contract. Promotion of Melissa McDevitt as a county caseworker 2, the rate is 22.3836, effective 6/17/24 per the contract. And the appointment of Kaylee Cicero as a county caseworker 1, the rate is 20.9412. That's effective 7/8/24 as per the contract. In addition, we have 1 informational item from children and youth. It's a revised start date for Jennifer Wilkins as a county caseworker 2, effective date 6/17/24, and that was changed from 6/3/24. All the appointments are pending drug test and physical where appropriate, and all actions involving salary or for positions being created are pending salary board approval.
Can I have a motion to approve the 3 children and youth?
So moved, sir.
Second?
Any question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Can I have a motion to approve the tax claim?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Any question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Call the word.
Commissioners, good evening. This evening I have 2 items I'd like to present. First, there's a list of 5 budget adjustments in your agenda, and the 5 budget adjustments have been posted outside the boardroom. And the second item I'd like to mention is this morning there was a bid opening in connection with the replacement of a bridge in Tremont. Those proposals will be reviewed and awarded at a future date.
Thank you. Under human resources, then the approval of the new policy detailing procedures for employment identification badges. Got the motion.
I'll make the motion to approve the bad policy.
Second?
Other question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Gary is here. Human resources is in already. Right?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Okay, salary board. Board of any executive sessions?
There were none.
Public comment from salary board? Have a motion to approve the salary board meeting minutes of May 22nd.
So moved.
Second?
Any question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Controller Yakovich?
Yes.
Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the salary board work session of June 5th?
So moved.
Second?
Any question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yeah.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Sorry.
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Controller Yakovich?
Yes.
Human resource, personnel actions.
We have nothing additional.
Any new business for salary board? Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a report of any executive session for retirement board?
There were none.
Any public comment for fire report. Can I have approval of the minutes from the monthly meeting on May 8th of 2024?
So moved. Second?
The question?
Commissioner Dura,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Controller Yafbanchik,
Yes.
Linda Guy,
Yes.
Treasurer Dibble,
Yes.
You're doing good. Controller's report. Can I have a motion to approve the controller's report after she reads it? Yeah. Let her read it.
Good evening. During the month of May 2024, 2 members received refunds of $22,948. 1 member received a rollover of $17,761. 2 deceased retirees received pro rata payments of $654. The market value of the retirement fund as of May 31st, 2024 was $160,886,664. The total market value of the retirement fund as of today, June 12, 2024, is $160,459,858. Thank you.
I have a motion to approve the report.
So moved.
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
New business. Oh, sorry.
Two more.
2 more.
Forgot his time.
Oh, Commissioner Yukenchik,
Not Commissioner.
I mean Controller.
Controller. Yes.
Yes.
I've been called that kind of couple times.
Treasurer Linda Guy.
Yes.
That's it, I think.
I think so.
You're doing good. New business, County Schuylkill Retirement Account, Deferred Compensation Program nationwide. Can I have a motion to what was presented at the Commissioner's work session on June 5th to approve the request of the amendment to the Cornerstone Advisory Assets Management?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora, Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Controller Yukenchik,
Yes.
Treasurer Linda Guy.
Yes.
Yeah, that motion. to adjourn.
So moved.
Happy Father's Day to
Oh,
everyone.
yeah, I forgot. Happy Father's Day to everybody.
And remember, tomorrow is Flag Day.
No, Friday.
Friday.
I'm lost on days.
Friday is fine.
That's my son's birthday, that's how we know Friday very well.
I know it's the 14th.
No, Zach, the middle one.